Good morning, everyone. Certainly, we're going to talk today about the fact that, or the reasoning, etc., about why we're shut down here on the independent side in Williamsville and, through Sunday. This might be news to some of our folks at Gate Circle because this doesn't really affect them. So as I talk about the issue here at Williamsville, just want to note that the Gate Circle campus is still open, or as open as planned and so on. So, but I will talk about the situation here in Williamsville. So yes, early yesterday morning, we did get information via our own testing that an independent resident who lives here in Williamsville, who is not vaccinated, tested positive for COVID. And of course, the memo went out yesterday to try to explain the situation. And so, as a result of that, we kind of collectively, and in consultation with Dr. Bodkin, who's our medical director, talked about what does that mean, knowing that that over 99% of our residents here are fully vaccinated. And as newer residents come in, both on the independent side and within the health center, we continue to vaccinate. Over 80% of our staff are vaccinated here in Williamsville, and so that's great as well. And we continue to have more and more staff members who hadn't been vaccinated initially, who have come forward and have decided to get vaccinated. So we continue to do all of that. But you know, here's what we know, is that even though we have very high levels of vaccination, and even though we've tried to design these opening systems, dining, et cetera, to be as safe as possible and resident only and so on, even though we have extremely high confidence with all the data that's out there on the efficacy of this vaccine, which for most of the residents and staff is the Pfizer vaccine, although we're using the Moderna now for newer vaccinations because that's what's available to us. So either or, all the data suggests that if you are vaccinated, that you are very, very well protected against the potentially getting the virus. However, nobody knows for sure. Nothing's 100%, and so in the absolute abundance of caution, and again, with discussion with John Bach, our medical director, and the other leadership folks, we felt that it was prudent, based upon all the information, to just take a brief, hopefully brief, step back and shut everything down briefly here, just through the end of this week, and monitor everybody for symptoms. So I want to reiterate to our independent residents here in Williamsville, if you feel ill between now and forever, please contact the front desk or hit your PERS button, and we will address it. And if it's an illness related to that you think you might have COVID, we will test you. We continue to have that ability to do that. I said in the memo to call Dawn Wilkes. The reality is, in my haste, I forgot to take that out. Dawn won't be here, of course, on Saturday and Sunday. So please, if you're feeling ill, call the front desk anytime, day or night. And if it's during the day, we will test you that day. And if it's during the night, we'll test you the following day. And we will do that on Saturday and Sunday of this week as well, to just be to be sure. I know this is a tremendous inconvenience, and it is frustrating. I share your frustration with you. I want to go over a couple other things. You know, I get feedback or I get questions about, you know, you should tell us that who is not vaccinated. So number one, I cannot do that. You all know about HIPAA and the right for people to not have their personal and or healthcare information shared. You have no more right to know who gets a shot than you have the right to know if somebody's HIV positive. We don't have the right to know. And I certainly don't have the legal authority or right to share that information with you. I can tell you that as of today, there are three residents in Williamsville that have not gotten the vaccine. Of all the residents here, including assisted living and skilled, there are three. All of those three for medical reasons. So, kind of is what it is. So, the other thing is, some of the questions that have been asked to me are, what about contact tracing? And early on, when our independent residents pre-vaccination, the independent residents who did get COVID, we were able to pretty effectively contact trace because we knew where they were, right? The community was pretty much locked down. They weren't in the dining room, they weren't in fitness classes, they weren't throughout the building, there was no resident meetings, et cetera, et cetera. But if you think about the last month, all that stuff has gradually and mostly taken place. So for us to contact trace really effectively for this one issue would pretty much be in vain because we have no idea of knowing exactly who contacted with who. Just, you know, once the community continues to open, you really can't effectively do that. So, you know, that's where we are. And so at this point, you know, we're going to continue to have you monitor, self-monitor. If you are feeling ill, like I said, please call the front desk. We will test you. This will take place, this brief shutdown will go through Sunday. So everything will go through Sunday. Again, I think in my original memo I said Sunday 4/3. Again, in my case, this is my mistake of getting this information out as quickly as possible. I put the wrong date in. We did say Sunday, but I actually said 4/3 is 4/4. So through Sunday. In that time period, we will go back to mail delivery service. So all of you kind of know the protocol for that by now, so please follow that. And we'll continue to do that. I want to reiterate that we're not going to move anything out. We're not going to take furniture away. We're not going to do any of that stuff. We just ask you to be cautious in the next several days. Try to limit gathering and self-monitor. That's really all we're asking you to do. This, of course, affects resident meetings, committee meetings, the fitness and wellness center, the beauty shop, outpatient physical therapy, the spa, cultural arts, which I may have said, et cetera, et cetera. So basically all those gathering points will be shut down through Sunday. Trying to think if I've covered everything. Visitors, planned visitation will go on as normal, or as we have kind of ramped up. So, you know, as what you're used to in the last several weeks with, if you have planned visitors coming in, or are planning to have visitors coming in, it will go on as planned. So anybody that's already been vaccinated and submitted to us that information, that's great. Anybody that's not vaccinated but is getting a test and is submitting that information for us, that's great as well. None of that is changing. You know, we feel like because the visitors coming in, per our policy, are relegated to the individual apartments, patio homes, and so on, perfectly fine. That really doesn't affect this. This is really about taking a step back, understanding the situation, and through a extreme abundance of caution, just monitoring for a few days and making sure that we stay on top of this. Again, believe me, I apologize. It's maddening. I'm very sorry. But we have talked about, that this could be a possibility on an ongoing basis where, we'll start and we might have to take a bit of a step back. I want to reiterate again, all but 3 of you residents in this community here in Williamsville are vaccinated, fully vaccinated with the vaccine that has so far proven to be extremely effective. And so that's awesome, and we should all feel very safe. But we want to, it's felt that we need to take this step just to monitor even further. So if you have any questions about this, certainly you can email me, and I'll do my best to answer your questions with the information that I have, and that's rwallace@echa.org. rwallace@echa.org. Again, you will get, here in Williamsville, a memo will go out from me on Sunday, either saying that, the clouds had lifted and Monday we're going right back to where we were earlier this week, or for whatever reason, we're not going to be doing that quite yet. So expect something, expect a memo on Sunday from me, just clarifying where we are at that point. Again, this doesn't affect Gate Circle at all. They don't have a positive case there within their anywhere. So that's where we are today. Again, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks.